of Elite Wagers. It's been a few weeks since I was last able to jump on. Been away on holiday, having some things done around the house and stuff. Made it very difficult for me to be able to jump on and have a little bit of spare time, if you like, for recording. But I was able to continuously post on Twitter. So if you do follow me on Twitter already, you would have been able to see what I was on for each week, including all my fantasy selections as well. I did a thread for those fantasy games. But now we're back on the podcast, and we're able to jump in again on the NFL Sunday Red Zone contest. But just before we do, obviously I want to send you all over to my Twitter. Make sure you are following. Make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube as well, where this will be posted. Also on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, anywhere and ever you get your podcasts. But mainly make sure you're following me on Twitter. If I am unable to jump on the podcast, then everything will be posted on Twitter, so you will not miss anything if you're following me on Twitter. But let's get into the Red Zone contest for the NFL this week over on FanTeam. A little bit of a team reveal, a breakdown of why I'm going to be picking these particular players. So as you can see, there's the team that I am going to be rolling with this week. But we're going to start off in the quarterback room. I'm going to go with Drake May. So Drake May, he's been a very, very good quarterback in the last couple of weeks. 10 passing touchdowns in total, 2 rushing touchdowns. Averaging 253 passing yards per game, 23 rushing yards. We're not going to include the receiving yards. Only been picked off twice. And as you can see, his form, 21 fantasy points per game. And then again, as you can see here, he's got a nice tally of fantasy points. He's hit over 20 3 times in his last 6 games, with a 19-point game as well against the Steelers. This week, he does get a nice matchup against Tennessee Titans. Obviously, the Tennessee Titans are statistically the worst team in the league, even though they have won one game and the Jets haven't won a game yet. The Titans are getting rolled every week. They are, just one of those teams that can't seem to get it together. Very sloppy on defense. And the Patriots have been very good. The Titans have conceded 20 or more in all of their games so far this season. And the New England Patriots have scored 20 or more in 3 straight. They've actually scored 25, 23 and 42, along with another 33 points against the Dolphins. So Drake May leading that team to very good things so far this season. I think he's going to continue that in this game. As you can see, he's one of the highest priced this week, which I didn't quite expect to be that high. But when you look at his total fantasy points there, he is, relatively high on the board. There he goes, third most. There's a few, obviously, others you can go for. Dak Prescott, that's going to be a high-scoring game between Dallas and Washington. I do also like Jordan Love in the game against Arizona Cardinals. But yeah, I did decide to go for Drake May, and I decided to double stack Drake May with Booty. Obviously, Stephon Diggs has been the main guy for the New England Patriots, but this guy's sort of flown under the radar. So he averages 3 receptions per game, 50 yards per game as well, which is relatively good for a wide receiver 2/3. 3 receiving touchdowns as well on the season. But as you can see, his form is up to 9.9. Last week, a huge game against the Saints, 93 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns, 5 receptions. Obviously, not quite hit anything like that in a lot of these games. 100 receiving yards against the Raiders too. So he has got the capability of being able to pop off like he did in those 2 games. And again, like I said, he's playing the Tennessee Titans. They've been, relatively poor against wide receivers so far this year. The Titans are actually allowing in the top 10 most amount of receiving yards to a wide receiver position. So Booty should get open quite a lot, especially with Stephon Diggs attracting a lot of the attention. Nice free ticket there for me, thank you. And then we're going to go for Cortland Sutton. He plays the New York Giants. Again, similar story between the Giants and the Titans. Obviously doing a lot better in terms of their results and their record so far. But the Broncos are on 3 straight. The Giants have won 2 of their last 3 games. But defensively, I think the Broncos will allow their offense to have a lot of time on the field and be able to do a lot of things. Colton Sutton being wide receiver 1. Obviously, Bo Nix being very, very good this year as well. He's averaging 63 receiving yards, 4.5 receptions, 3 total touchdowns this season. Form is up at 13, and you can see why there. He had an off week last week against the Jets where he was locked up, 1 reception for 17 yards. Against the Eagles, Bengals and Chargers. So the Eagles and the Chargers defenses are very, very good. 17 points there, nearly 100 yards, 8 receptions, 1 touchdown, 81 yards, 5 receptions. And then against the Chargers, 118 yards, 6 receptions and a touchdown. So he's got the capability of being able to carry this team. I think if their defense can hold off the Giants, then he will get a lot of opportunities. And obviously, going back to what I was saying about Booty a minute ago, Cortland Sutton against the Tennessee Titans, 61 receiving yards, 6 receptions and 1 touchdown for 18 points. So he's getting a lot of points. Booty will get a lot of points against the Titans, and I think Sutton will have a decent amount of points against the New York Giants. And then we're going to go against the other New York team, the New York Jets, and we're going to go for McMillan. Another one that's averaging 63 receiving yards, 4.5 receptions, 2 receiving touchdowns. Form was up at 13, and obviously you can see there he's got 3 games with 10 plus in his locker. The Jets, obviously, like I just mentioned, haven't yet won a game. Offensively, very, very poor. They're allowing opposing teams to basically score at will. They've conceded 13 against the Broncos last week in London, 37 against the Cowboys, 27 against the Dolphins, 29 against the Buccaneers, 30 against the Bills, 34 against the Steelers. So they're allowing a lot of points. And one guy that will be featured a lot for the Panthers is going to be McMillan. He's got decent averages, and obviously there 2 receiving touchdowns last week. 29 yards, 3 receptions, 73 yards there, 62 yards. So, he's getting up there. He's had obviously 5 of these 6 games over 10 fantasy points. So I think he can also contribute to your wide receiver room this week. And then tight end position, I'm going to go for Max Meyer. Obviously, where is he? Brock Bowers is the number 1 guy. Who's on this page? Brock Bowers is the number 1 guy for the Raiders, but he is questionable. But Meyer, he is a very, very good tight end. He's a good pass catching tight end. 97 total yards, averaging 32. 3 receptions per game. He's only played 3 games. Okay, these first 2 games were with Brock Bowers, so obviously he was behind him in the squad depth and squad rotation. Last week without Brock Bowers, 1 receiving touchdown, 50 receiving yards, 5 receptions. So he does have the capability and he is able to replicate what Brock Bowers can do. So they don't really have a loss in that position. So 16 points for him last week. Again, against Kansas City, very difficult team. Difficult team to play against is Kansas City. Let me just check on my database what they are averaging against the tight end position. Against the tight end position, they are actually very, very good. They're allowing 37 receiving yards to the tight end position. Where are they? I've lost them again now. 37. So it's going to be a tough game anyway for the Raiders, but you would expect the Chiefs to sort of run away with this, so it will give the Raiders more options or more opportunity to pass in this game. So I think he's probably one of their best pass catchers, and he's very underrated in terms of what he can bring to the table. Moving on to the running back room. My favourite one this week, Josh Jacobs. I'm obviously a Packers fan. But again, not being biased or anything like that. Josh Jacobs has a nice matchup against the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals defense has not been the best. He's got 6 rushing touchdowns. He's got 2 in a row, averaging 35 receiving yards with 70 rushing yards, so over 100 scrimmage yards, 3 receptions per game as well. Taking you back to his history, his form is currently 20. He's got back-to-back 30-plus games. As we can see, against the Bengals, 2 rushing touchdowns, 150 total scrimmage yards, 5 receptions. So a very good game there against the Bengals, and similar against the Cowboys. Over 150 scrimmage yards again, 4 receptions, 2 rushing touchdowns. So back-to-back 2 rushing touchdown games. A little bit of an off game against the Browns and the Commanders, but he does have that in his locker where he can just pop off at any time. The Cardinals do struggle a little bit against the run, but with the Packers being 7-point favourites, I'm expecting them to sort of jump out to a bit of an early lead, give Jacobs a lot of the ball on the ground, and try and run down some clock. And I think Jacobs can contribute very, very nicely in your team this week, especially in the Packers lineup this week as well. And then we're going to go for Vidal. Now, he's only had 2 games, 1 game as a starter, so his averages are a little bit off. So we'll go for what he was able to do last week against Miami. Let me have a look at the Colts, actually. The Colts are allowing 78 rushing yards per game to the running back position. As well as that, they're allowing 30 receiving yards. So they're allowing around 100 scrimmage yards. And a touchdown to the running back position. But last week, Vidal sort of popped out of nowhere. 124 rushing yards, 1 touchdown, 14 receiving yards, 3 receptions. So he proved he could come in and sort of be the guy that Hampton hasn't been yet so far. Obviously now he's out for injury as well. So Vidal is one of those ones that needs to be watched. But for the time being, I think he is a decent price, a little bit high maybe compared to some of the guys that you've got in here. Maybe Kamara, Breece Hall, Tony Pollard. But I think I'm willing to take a punt on the LA Chargers having a good game against the Indianapolis Colts. And the final running back is going to be Judkins. He actually is on the not expected to play list. For some reason, he is good to go. He is healthy. He hasn't missed time, anything like that. So I'm not quite sure why he's there. So that might be a bit of a good thing for us to not have him showing up. But 13 million, 12 receiving yards on average, 76 rushing yards per game on average, 2 rushing touchdowns per game. Played 5 games. Obviously a down game against the Steelers last week where the Steelers defense absolutely dominated. Shouldn't necessarily be a similar story for this week. They do play the Miami Dolphins. I'll get into Miami Dolphins in a second. But against, there's some good defenses there. Ravens, Packers, Lions and Vikings, all very good defenses. He was able to go over 100 against the Vikings. He was able to go over 100 against the Lions. He was able to go 71 yards against the Ravens, and then against the Packers, a rushing touchdown, and just shy of 100 against the Packers as well. So he has had some good success this year so far as the lead running back. But going into a few stats that I found for the Miami Dolphins. So the Dolphins defense has given up 1,076 total yards to a running back position. That's an average of 179 yards per game. So that gives Judkins a lot more confidence as well heading into this game. As well as that, Judkins has had 19 plus touches in 3 straight games. And he's actually hit 14 plus in those 3 games, obviously minus the Steelers game. They should dominate this Dolphins defensive line. And they do allow the 11th most rushing yards to running back position. So I'm going to take a punt again on Judkins as well, asking him to get back into his good rhythm that he had against those 4 good defenses there, and hoping that he gets gets a good game against the Fins. And then we are finally going to go for the New England Patriots defense. So looking at the defenses there, they are one of the highest priced, 9.4 million. But there's only the Broncos higher, and in my opinion, they've got the better matchup against the Tennessee Titans. Obviously, the Tennessee Titans, as I've mentioned a few times, haven't played very well. It's classed as an easy difficulty game. In total, 4 interception, 13 sacks, 4 fumble recoveries, and they haven't yet allowed a team over 35 points. So let's have a look at the Titans. So the Titans have actually only scored 10, 21, 0, 20, 19. So the Patriots have been able to keep their opponents way under 20. So 19, 20, 13, 21, 27. So they've been able to keep them relatively at bay. And as you can see, the last couple of games, 5, 10, 11, 2, 13, 7. So if they're getting around that average of 8 points, I'm going to be happy with that in my team. So this is obviously my team for this week. A few honourable mentions. If you can afford George Pickens, I think George Pickens is a very good option. 6 receiving touchdowns. You can see there he's got 1 per game. 87 receiving yards, 5 receptions per game. But if you just look at these here, that game last week against the Panthers, 168, 1 receiving touchdown and 9 receptions. Again against the Green Bay Packers, 134 yards, 2 receptions, 8 receptions, 2 receiving touchdowns as well. So again, he's another one of those ones. I mentioned this a minute ago. This is going to be a high scoring game. I think George Pickens, if you can afford him, he will be a very good addition to sort of any team. And then who else was there? There was a running back I wanted to mention as well. Rico Dowdle, again, another one. He's had recent success due to some injuries, and obviously the way he's been playing recently. There's no way you can leave him out. He's back-to-back 32 plus fantasy games. Obviously against the Dolphins, 206 rushing yards, 28 receiving yards and a rushing touchdown. And then against the Cowboys, 183 rushing yards, 56 receiving yards, 1 touchdown. So another one that can add a lot to your team this week. And obviously he's got a very good matchup as well against the New York Jets. So if you can afford any of those two, with a little bit of wiggle room, I would advise those two as well. But this, for now, is my team for this week. So we're going to lock that in. And there we go. There's my team successfully submitted for this week. And let's get it. Let's get it. My best bets for this week. I'm going to miss Thursday Night Football. I'm going to miss the breakdown of Thursday Night Football. The play is Steelers over 3.5 sacks, and that's going to be at plus 145, which is 2.45 in decimal odds. I'm not going to break that down, basically because there's not much time to break it down with that game being so close. But we're going to go straight to the Sunday slate. First game being the London game, Jacksonville Jaguars against the LA Rams. We're going to go with the Rams -3. The main reason is I'm a huge fan of this LA Rams offense. I think they are very, very difficult to play against. Obviously putting up a decent amount of points in every game. So 17 against the Ravens, 23 in a close loss against the 49ers, 27 against the Colts, 26 against the Philadelphia Eagles, and then 33 against the Tennessee Titans, where the Jaguars have conceded 20, 28, 21, 10 and 31. So I think there's a bit of a mismatch on both sides of the field. The defense for the Rams is a lot better than the Jaguars, and the offense is a lot better than Jaguars too. So I'm going to go for the LA Rams -3 in London. The next one on my list is so let me find it, is going to be the Patriots. Obviously, I mentioned the Patriots a minute ago in fantasy, and I'm going to go for Patriots -7. I don't normally like taking a touchdown win for a team. These kind of games kind of go a little bit ski with, but obviously there's a huge mismatch. Tennessee Titans are terrible, scoring 10 points, 22 points, 0 points, 20 points, 19 points. The Patriots scoring 25, 23, 42, 14 and 33. They are 3-0, 3-0 away from home, and the Titans don't really have a home field advantage much either. I think the defense is going to smother the Tennessee offense, and I think the New England offense is going to feast against this Tennessee defense. So I think it's a simple case of the Patriots will win, maybe by 10. So I'll take the Patriots by a touchdown. The next one I'm going to go for is the Colts money line. Colts and Chargers is going to be a very, very good game. Both defenses are very good. They've both showcased in recent weeks that they are top defenses. The Chargers have won 3 of the last 5 games, but they did, however, lose by 17 points to the Commanders, and then they did lose by 3 points against the Giants. I think the Colts are better than the Commanders and the Giants. They've actually only lost against the LA Rams, and that was a 7-point loss. But they have beaten the solid, very, very good defense of the Denver Broncos. They won by 21 against the Titans. They won by 34 against the Raiders, and then they won by 4 against the Arizona Cardinals. So I think led by Jonathan Taylor and Dan Jones, who's actually had a really good turnaround in his career at Indianapolis. I think they are going to be very, very tough for this Chargers defense to break down, and I think that's what it comes down to. I think this offense is going to be very, very, very difficult to stop. So I'm going to go for the Colts money line. I'm also going to go down to, this is Sunday Night Football, 49ers against the Falcons. I'm going to go for the Falcons money line. I'm not high on this 49ers team as a whole. Obviously, they are missing Brock Purdy. Mac Jones has done a fairly decent job with him being out. They've actually won 3 of the last 5 games. They did get a bit of a thumping against the Buccaneers by 21 points, lost against the Jaguars by 5. But the Falcons, they also have won 3 in the last 5. They got shut out against the Panthers, but since then they put up 34 points and 24 points against the Commanders and the Buffalo Bills. Very impressive from Bijan Robinson in both of those games. Had a close loss against the Falcons as well, where they lost 20-23. I just think the offense of the Falcons is tough. They obviously played very well against the Bills. They were able to stop that hot Bills offense. The 49ers are nowhere near the Bills. Defensively, 49ers are very, very good, but I think Bijan Robinson and co. Drake London obviously had a very good game as well. I think they are going to be very difficult to stop. I think it's going to be a close game. I was tempted by the spread of 2, but I'm going to go for the Falcons to win outright in this one. Next up on the list is the final game of the game week, and that's going to be the Seattle Seahawks. I'm going to go for them -3.5 as well. You can get -3 on certain places. What's -3 here? -3, 1.8. You know, I'd take that. We'll take the 1.3, the -3 for the Seahawks. Texans have been, mediocre. They've had a few good games, a few bad games. I don't think there's anything solid to say that the Texans are a really good team. Obviously beating the Titans 26-0 doesn't really say much. Beating the Ravens 44-10 also doesn't say much when they had, I think it was about 8 starters missing, including Lamar Jackson, including a lot of their defensive unit as well. So losing against the Jaguars by 7 points, losing against the Bucs and losing against the Rams, that's more where I see them. The Seahawks have won 4 of the last 5, and their only loss actually was against the Buccaneers by 3. So a very close game where it's 35-38, so offensively very, very good. I just think there's a clear mismatch, offense to offense. Seahawks gets the nod. Defense to defense, Seahawks also gets the nod in that one as well. So I think it's a simple case of the Seahawks will win this by touchdown. So I'll happily take -3 on this one. The next one, I'm not sure if I can get this on this book. Let's have a look. So it's going to be team total. There we go, team totals. And I'm going to go for the Dolphins team total over 18. So obviously you can get 18, 18.5. If it goes 18, you get a push, you get your money back. So we're going to go for Dolphins plus 18. The reason being, obviously, the Browns have been dismantled in recent weeks defensively. They allowed 23 to the Steelers, 21 to the Vikings, 34 to the Lions, and 41 against the Ravens. And obviously, the Dolphins aren't the best offense without Tyreek Hill, and a few players aren't playing as well as they should be. But they have been able to put 20 plus in 5 straight. So they put 27, 24, 27, 21, and 27 again. So they have consistently got 20 or more points. So taking them at around 18 points, I will happily take that. So 18 points for the Miami Dolphins offense in this game. Similar one for the Green Bay Packers. I'm not going to take their minus spread, but I am going to take their team total points. I'm going to go for 25.5, so it's them to get 26 or more points. Again, another team that has been able to put up a decent amount of points in recent weeks. The Arizona Cardinals have allowed 31, 21, 23, 16, 22. So not anywhere near this number on a regular basis, but the Packers scored 27, 40, 27, 27 in 4 of the last 5 games. So again, consistently scoring 27 or more. I'll happily take them to score another 27 in this game to cash us this one. And then the final bet of the week. I have this 2 ways in this game. I've got it 2 ways at the moment. It's going to be in the Lions and the Bucks game. First way, Bucks plus 5.5. This one is I'm really high on this Bucks offense. I have to start off by saying that I think they're a really good unit, working really well. Baker Mayfield, I think he's MVP runner, front runner at the moment. The Lions obviously are a very good offense, but plus 5 handicap for a team that's firing like they are. The Buccaneers, 30 points, 38 points, 25 points, 29 points, 20 points. I think is very difficult to overlook. So I'm going to go for them to score plus 5.5, and then also I'm going to go for the Bucks over 23.5. And the reason again is 30 points, 38 points, 25 points, 29 points, and then 20 points in 5 of the last 5 games. So consistently getting over 24 or more points. The Lions have just conceded 30 to the Chiefs, 24 to the Bengals, 30 to the Ravens, 21 to the Bears. So I think the Buccaneers are a better offense than all of those put together. So I think it's a bit of a no-brainer for me to place this one as well. Bucks total points over 23.5. So run down the list again. It's going to be Rams -3, Patriots -7, Colts moneyline, Falcons moneyline, Seattle Seahawks -3, Dolphins team total over 18, Packers team total over 25.5, Buccaneers 5+5 on the handicap, and then Buccaneers over 23.5. So that's me all ran down. All the best bets for me mentioned, broken down. The fantasy selections mentioned and broken down. So that's me pretty much done. So again, I want to send you over to my Twitter. Make sure you're following. Head over to my YouTube as well. Make sure you're subscribing so you do not miss a single episode or a single breakdown. So yeah, that's all. If you have any questions or any opinions, don't be shy to drop them in the comments. I will get back to everyone as well. So we're gonna sign off. So I wish you all good luck. Good luck in fantasy. Good luck in betting this week. I'll be back next week. So let's get it, and I'll catch you later.